Should you pay $15 just to see Wonder Woman?
This world is not yet ready for all that you will do. The time will come, Diana. And everything will be different.
Okay, so the big question, like I just asked, is it worth paying $15 to get HBO Max just to watch Wonder Woman? I don't believe so. I don't think so. Just like I don't think it's worth $30 to see that Mulan film. I wouldn't say this is on the same scale as that. I don't think it's as bad as Mulan, but if you were gonna get HBO Max already, or if you already have it, then you're kind of getting it for free, so why not, because even though you are paying $15 a month, you are getting a bunch of other material, and if you were going to already get it, or if you already have it, then it's like you were already going to spend that 15, so it's technically free. That's John logic right there. Use it whenever you want. Let me just get into the film and what I really liked. I'll start off with, and the one thing that I really, really loved about this film was Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. When he comes back decades later from when he had originally passed, I think he was just really believable in his character, and just the awe he was in from seeing all the new art. And even in the trailer you see where he's looking at the garbage can, because I guess that could be a shot at art, saying that essentially, even a trash can could be mistaken as art for someone who doesn't know. But also just how stunned he is from the advancement of just planes, obviously way different. He thinks it's incredible. And again, I just completely believe him the entire way. And it's really funny. It brings a lot of heart to the film, as well as I think his on-screen chemistry with Gal Gadot, or aka Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, was great. Just like it was in the first film. That was the part that I really liked in the first film. I thought they were great together. It just makes for like a lot of comedic moments, and even some really nice cool moments when they're in battle together, where obviously she's a superhuman that can do all these things, where he's just a normal human trying to use his brain power and help where he can, so she can help the broader spectrum of the world. And he does what he can to help her, at least, or fend off other people. And to transition into Gal Gadot, I think she's really coming into form with her character as Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman. I just think her acting is getting a lot better. So there's a couple moments in this film where you really get some emotion from her, and you really see it, the facial expression, everything. I think that was maybe a little something I didn't see from the first Wonder Woman, but now having been in a few films as Wonder Woman and Diana Prince, you can start to see how she's transitioned into this role, or from film to film, and is kind of feeling more comfortable in it, and I really like that. And so I guess to move on now, just more about what I didn't really enjoy with the film. I think Kristen Wiig is a great comedic actress, and I think she was really believable in the same Sam Raimi Spider-Man Peter Parker way, where she's this kind of dorky outsider, and then she all of a sudden gets this power that she wasn't really expecting, hoping for something to change, and she gets it, and then she's starting to come into this role and this form of confidence. It seemed almost as a plot device, or she was more of the physical battle, where the main villain, which is Maxwell Lord, played by Pedro Pascal, was more of the mental / purposeful villain, the villain that you get to in order to serve the purpose of what the film is trying to say. I just think that Cheetah there wasn't enough in it for me to really care with that situation. At first I kind of cared, but then when she finally got to full form, it just was like really bleh. And the special effects weren't great, and that's even from the beginning of the film, where they're doing a flashback when Wonder Woman's a kid and Diana Prince is young and doing it. Just all the choreographed, like when they're gliding, it just seems very sluggish. Like it's really noticeable. I feel like almost the first film was a lot smoother when there was in the choreo. Like there's the scene, in No Man's Land, or when she was going into one of the buildings and fighting. It just seems super smooth. The choreo was really good. However, in this film, again, it's just really noticeable, and it distracts you a little bit from the moments. But to go back to, Cheetah, I just felt like it was kind of rushed, that battle that happens. And then we get to, Maxwell Lord. Pedro Pascal, I think, does a great job. I think he acts perfectly fine in the role. I just think where I feel I find this big issue with the Wonder Woman's, because I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, even though I think it was better and just overall more well done than this one. I think the problem is the villains. They're not interesting enough, at least to me. They're probably a couple of the least interesting villains that I've seen in any hero film. It's just, unfortunately, they just don't connect with me in any kind of level. I don't think they're really like cool characters. They're not like a Thanos where I can, they have their purpose and then I can kind of understand what their motive is. I just don't really see it. So for me, that kind of takes away from it. And on top of that, I just think this third act was really corny, super cheesy. I don't think it concluded well at all. It reminds me of like It Chapter 2, only It Chapter 2 had a really cool setting. It had a really cool villain that was going after the guy, the adults. So if you took like the cheesy ending though of that, put it into this with like a bleh setting and with a very villain, essentially, like that's kind of how I seen it. And I think maybe that they were trying to find a way, because this villain could have definitely been a little too overpowered. And so that's always an issue with films, when a certain villain, if you take it from the comics or wherever, and they seem a bit overpowered, how do you adapt them into a film and make them not overpowered? I think there's a struggle there a lot of the times, and so it ends up becoming cheesy or unbelievable in the sense of how they could have been defeated or whatever the case may be. That's just my thoughts on the film, my review of the film. I think it could have been a lot better. I was excited for this one, even though I didn't really love the first one. I thought it had a lot of potential, so I thought this one would maybe be a little better. But unfortunately for me, it wasn't, and so I can't recommend you pay $15 just to see this film. But I definitely do recommend you paying the $15, or I think there might be even a 7-day free trial for you to be able to look at all the material that HBO Max has. They have a show called Chernobyl, which is one of the best shows I've ever seen, or it's technically a miniseries. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, smash that like button. And I hope you have a happy new year.
Barbara, what did you do?